last story is about Sting, because our historical story this week is, of course, back in 2014. Sting had never come to WWE. We thought, is he going to ever come? And then, 2014 Survivor Series, it's Team Authority, Team Cena. If Team Authority win, it's going to be Cena fired. If Team Cena win, the Authority's out. And we can see here, Triple H has got Seth Rollins on Dolph Ziggler. He's got the crooked referee coming down. He's going to get the win. And out of nowhere, it is Sting. The Crow music hits. People go crazy. Because obviously everybody wanted the big Sting and Undertaker match, right? That was the one that everybody was talking about. And we got Sting and Triple H instead. Were you, I mean, you mentioned there, that first night he gets that big reception. Everybody's loving it. Were you even at that point going, I just can't see that he's going to go to WrestleMania, beat Triple H, and all is going to be kind of forgiven for WCW sins? Did you kind of see the writing on the wall?
Well, I mean, you hope for the best, but you feared the worst. And that's, I think it was Raven who used that phrase in a famous Power Slam interview from 2005. He was asked, would you advise anyone to join WWE? And he's like, well, hope for the best, but prepare yourself for the worst. So with Sting, yeah, there was definitely a lot of concern that, especially after that really strong start and Triple H being laid out like that, Triple H generally in these situations would receive the last laugh. And if it's with an ex-WCW performer, I think there was a feeling that inevitably he would end up pinning Sting. I was hoping that maybe the match would take place at Royal Rumble and maybe something would happen, like Undertaker would be involved in some way. There'd be a supernatural type finish. So Sting would somehow be protected in his defeat to Triple H. And that would then lead to a match between Sting and Undertaker at WrestleMania. And I still don't really understand why that didn't happen. I mean, so many people wanted that match. It was a dream match for fans dating back to 1990, really, when Undertaker debuted. And I know they wrestled in WCW, but that was when Matt Calloway was Matt Callis, and it was not the same. He obviously didn't have the same character or aura, pedigree, or all these other factors that would have made the match so exciting. So I really feel like WWE shortchanged its audience, shortchanged The Undertaker and Sting. Absolutely Sting. And it was a real shame how it, again, I use that word. I mean, it was really quite demoralising how it all played out for Sting there, with him suffering the injury in the Seth Rollins match. And he thought his career was over. Unfortunately, he was able to recover and make the comeback with AEW last year. But yeah, you look back on WWE and it's, all you can think is what might have been or what could have been, had they, just aimed a little higher and been more ambitious and just given people what they wanted, Kenny. Isn't that what WWE is supposed to be all about?
Supposed to be
listening to its audience and putting smiles on fans' faces. They haven't been doing much of that over the last week.
No, they haven't. Also, the weird thing is, if they had done Undertaker and Sting at some point, Sting would have happily lost to The Undertaker at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Because then you can imagine they would have had this really, bells and whistles match. Then after Taker wins and he leaves, Sting gets the standing ovation. Then he's got a year's worth of matches in him. There's so much they could have done. But, it's just interesting to ponder. I was very surprised when he came in 2014. I just thought he's never going to do it. And I always feel when people do stuff like this, they tend to do it a little bit too late. Yeah. And I feel like he maybe did it a little bit too late.
Yeah, I mean, had he gone in 2011, I think it might have been different. I think his career would have lasted longer in the company. Yeah. However it would have played out, whomever he would have wrestled. I think the Undertaker Undertaker match would have taken place at some point, and he would have had a longer career with the company. So I don't know whether he regards that as an error, not going in 2011, because okay, he made some money with TNA and he was very well paid there and he worked on a part-time schedule, but he didn't really do anything in TNA from in his last 3 years that he was there that really left an impression or made a difference or enhanced or enriched his career in any way. So I think Sting made a mistake by not going earlier.